Hi guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. I'm Adina. All day long I make baby books and sensory toys for babies and I love it so much. I thought, why not teach you how to make something easy, like a beginner's project that you are not intimidated about, and it's so versatile, you can do it any way you like, any way you feel comfortable with it. I remember this was my first ever project that I made, was a bunting, and it came out so wobbly and imperfect, and who cares? I don't. And it's always a reminder how brave I was to do something I hadn't done before. And that's exactly the point of this tutorial today, to help you get out of your comfort zone and learn a new skill. And one day maybe you'll make gifts for babies. A bunting is a wonderful, wonderful, cheap, inexpensive way of creating interest, a focal point in a room. You can just transform completely a blank wall and make it into an interesting thing to see. And for a newborn, it just makes the room a nicer, friendlier, more welcoming. Even if you don't have expensive fabric like I do, because you know I'm a bit fabric crazy, but I was just thinking you could use actually the baby's clothes. Let's face it, all the baby's clothes are nice fabric, nice colors, and the baby wears them for a month or so and then they just grow out of it, because that's the nature of things, right? So why waste it? Why not make something really beautiful out of their clothes? This is why I'm here, to help you all the way. You shouldn't be intimidated. This is a project that you can do with a sewing machine or without a sewing machine. You can actually do it by hand. It's just gonna take more time and you should be prepared for it, that's all. But we always start with fabric, and I'm gonna use for the purpose of this video this kind of fabric. We need a template that you can download from my blog post. I will link it below as well. It's 12 by 7 centimeters. We need a pencil, we need chopstick and scissors, and that's about it. And we're gonna draw the template on the back of the fabric. That's why we use a pencil. I don't care, it's just a pencil, it doesn't show. And we're gonna cut out the individual triangles, and I'm gonna use the pinking shears. These are pinking shears, see? And we have individual triangles which we're gonna sew together. From two pieces of fabric we're trying to make one little individual flag, and what we're gonna do is just leave this bit open and create a V-shaped line and sew it up, and then we turn it right side out. Just bear with me. Now this is what we got. It's a V-line. Yeah, we leave this bit open, and the only reason I sewed with the black thread is for you to see it, otherwise I would have used white. The next thing we want to do is just get rid of this excess here, because it's just going to create a bulk. Just be careful not to cut through the sewing line. That's all you need to do. And now magic, we turn it right side out and push with the chopstick. Push that little tip out of there, gently, gently, don't rip through the fabric, and you just push it out as far as it goes without ripping the fabric, of course. Now what we end up, look, is a cone. Don't use it as a cone. We can't use it as a cone, we need it nice and flat, and for this purpose we use the iron. So we just press the margins down and it's gonna come out flat like this. It's flat and nice and easy to work with. So this is what we're using, yeah? Nice and flat. What I don't like about this is this tip. We need to have it nicely cut. So we just use the scissors and just make it straight a little bit, just a little bit, like so. That's all right. Now we can take our bias binding and you just introduce the flags in the bias binding and you have a nicely finished bunting on both sides. The only thing that you need to remember is when you start sewing them together one after another is to leave about 30 35 centimeters of bias binding just at the end of the bunting. I'll show you, like this. So you can make a knot and hang it wherever you need it, and then start putting in the flags with about an inch between them, 2.5 centimeters between them. This is how it looks, I think, richer and more busy on the wall as it is. It doesn't have to be like that. If you're too intimidated to sew two triangles together, just use the individual triangles just like they are and put the bias binding like that and just put them on the wall. Nobody's gonna check. Another thing you can do if you do not have bias binding is to use any kind of ribbon that you have lying around the house and just sew them by hand if you want, like this. And you still have your bunting at the end of the day, and it's your bunting and you should be proud of it. What else can I tell you about it? It's not written in stone. You can go about it any way you like. In my blog post, you have a step-by-step method with pictures about how I do it and how I did it for this particular project, because for other buntings that I use in my business in baby books, I sometimes use leftover fabrics like this and I mix and match them like crazy. I know it's a bit extreme, I don't recommend it. I just don't like wasting my fabric. It's so expensive and so beautiful that I don't like to waste it. So I create these projects that are using every scrap I have. Look what I do with little scraps of fabrics is like key rings, and they're houses, little houses that I make. Look, I can't throw them out, guys. You should see my studio sometimes. This was my first tutorial ever. It's nice to realize that my first ever project was a bunting, and my first ever tutorial was about a bunting. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I have a good mind of coming back and teach you of things that I know about, you know, making stuff for your house or for babies or whatever you feel you're interested in. Just drop me a comment below. I was thinking to teach you how to make name garlands like this with individual letters that spell out your baby's name. It's a bit more work, but maybe you're up to it for the next project. If not, we'll see. Maybe I'll teach you how to make a sensory toy for your baby. So hopefully see you next time. Thanks for watching and bye.